There's a lot going on in markets right now, and in today's video I want to cover three key areas that are top of mind for me. First and foremost is the macroeconomic picture, and the key economic indicators that I'm always watching are the PMI, inflation rates, and of course the interest rate cycle. In the last video we discussed the idea of interest rates going down, and I still believe this to be the key economic force for the remainder of the year. So we watch this space closely in the way central banks, in particular the US Fed Reserve, manages that interest rate cycle. Another area of focus is geopolitics. And what I'm particularly looking at is the election cycle. Right now, and for the remainder of the year, close to 49% of the world population will be going through some form of election process, including the big one, the US election in November. This will cause volatility and instability amongst many countries, both democratic and non-democratic. So we need to be careful, and we're going to be watching each election as they go off through the remainder of the year. We will have more information leading up to the US election, so watch this space closely. The other area of geopolitics, and this is pretty much what we talked about last time, is current wars that are in play across the world. The Ukraine war, which appears to be in a bit of a stalemate right now, the Middle East situation, which seems to be intensifying right now, and a third one I want to talk about is Taiwan. The Taiwanese situation, I think, will become a big factor perhaps in 2025, post-US elections. Once we know who's in office, and once we know how the foreign policy situation of the US government interplays with that of the Chinese government. The third factor is what I'm looking at is headlines versus reality. And right now, a lot of the headlines in terms of our attention economy is being taken up by key sectors like semiconductors and of course cryptocurrency. You would lead to believe that the rest of the economy and the rest of the trading environment is out of control and doing extremely well. But in fact, this is not the case. If we compare the Australian domestic market versus the NASDAQ, they are two very different investment environments right now. The NASDAQ has put on close to 8% since January, whereas the Australian market continues to be relatively flat. And because that focus is on US technology, we're seeing more and more money flowing into that economy from the rest of the world. We've seen the Chinese market falter over the last couple of weeks, and we are starting to see hot money being applied to key names like NVIDIA. One thing to be very careful about during periods like this is that names like NVIDIA and companies in the technology space can go well beyond valuations because we have a secular trend in play. And what I mean by a secular trend, these are very long-term trends that are not like the business cycles that we normally see that are generally anywhere between 2 to 5 years. These are very long changes in either demographics, government, or new technologies, and we've seen that eventuate. So it's important to have a framework in play, and that framework might be based on valuation, it might be based on technical analysis, but it's really important in periods like this, as we are in this bull cycle at the moment, which could potentially go for the rest of the year well into 2025, because it's that framework that's going to get you through these difficult times. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.